Oh.
Well. Looks like we meet again, traveler.
Wenn dir da schon schlecht ist, möchtest nicht entkanoniert zu lang suchen. Oh je. Und ein Abgrundbote.
Strange place. Plotting. You needn't worry about such things. They don't concern you.
Halbe Portion.
Bow before the abyss.
Na?
Check this out.
Überladen ist eigentlich immer ganz gut.
Judgment.
Ja, ich gebe dir gerade nicht wirklich eine Chance und das ist pure Absicht.
Fire it up.
Ich weiß, was ihr für Ärsche seid.
I got you covered.
Jetzt fangen wir wieder da an, ja? Jetzt fangen wir wieder da an. Kleiner, elendiger Arsch. Aber weißt du was? Deine Rüstung ist ziemlich unpraktisch, wenn du gegen Rosaria kämpfst. You know? You understand what I mean? Weil ich friere dich die ganze Zeit ein, du Arsch. Aber irgendwie mache ich ihm gerade nicht wirklich viel Schaden, kann es sein? Ich mache ihm gerade echt nicht viel Schaden. Okay. Boom. Au. Hat er voll erwischt, ne?
Why can't we beat this guy? Oh, Paimon doesn't get it. We faced others like him before. What's wrong this time?
Der Schwächste von allen. Ganzen sind sehr lustig. Wieso hast du keine Möglichkeit, ihn zu besiegen? Du hast doch schon oft gegen diesen Typ gekämpft. Wie kommt das nur? Weil er eine Illusion ist. Oder das, besser gesagt, er in unserem Verstand ist und eigentlich gar nicht wirklich ist. Maybe?
Traveler, though you may have managed to avert countless crises before, your good fortune was bound to end sooner or later. It's time you realize how weak and powerless you really are.
Ich werde meinen Bruder finden.
Your brother. Oh, pitiful traveler. Are you really so ignorant? Or are you just living in complete denial? His Highness has long since forsaken you. Your meager existence in his eyes is that of an annoying bug, only to be stepped upon.
Okay. Also, erstens mal, er sagt uns, unser Bruder hat uns aufgegeben. Das glaube ich aber nicht, weil in dem Ort, wo wir uns an ihn erinnert haben, hat er dieselben Blumen abgelegt, wie wir im Haar haben. Für mich ist es mehr so eine Aussage wie, ich bin da. Hier geht's lang. Du bist auf dem rechten Weg. Du kommst immer näher. So kommt mir das eher vor. Ich glaube, dass der Bruder sich zwar irgendwie entschieden hat und doch noch ein bisschen im Selbstzweifel ist. Und solange er noch ein klein bisschen, maybe, aber ich glaube trotzdem, er ist ein bisschen im Selbstzweifel. Wenn er nur ein klein bisschen, so ein kleines bisschen im Selbstzweifel ist, haben wir die Chance, ihn zu überzeugen. Mit aller Macht. Solange wir dranbleiben. Achso. So funktioniert das einfach. So ist die Logik der liebevollen Geschwister-Stories.
The bonds of love and family which drive you to find your sibling are utterly gone. Your journey is meaningless. But don't you fret now. Today will be your last. Now die!
Nein. Oh, wir sind schon wieder woanders. Okay, das ist echt fucking unangenehm. Seltsam, was ist gerade passiert? Einen Moment lang war es wie ein Traum. Oh, ich kann mich nicht mehr daran erinnern, worum es ging. Ich dafür umso mehr.
What do we do? We haven't seen Hypatia anywhere out here. Oh, there she is! Quick, let's see how she's doing.
Ah, so sweet.
What?
Well, the good news is that she's still conscious. Hey, why'd you drop her food on the floor like that?
Ich bin erschrocken, Hypatia so zu sehen.
Oh, guess that makes sense. She does look kind of rough at the moment.
Glaube ich auch. Ich glaube, das kleine Viech hat sich um sie gekümmert und ist geschlichen. Und es hat sich genauso, oder das kleine Ding ist genauso erschrocken wie wir.
Anyways, we can talk about this later. We better make sure she's alright first.
Ja. Boah, aber der Trip war unangenehm.
Whoa, wait a sec. Look at all this fruit lying around her. We can put that to good use.
Mhm. Halb bewusst war es ja Wasser und Saft zu trinken nach einer Weile.
Who is there? Tainari, is that you?
Nicht ganz.
Huh?
Ja. Sie sind größer als der Kopf.
It's okay. You can relax, Hypatia. Tainari sent us here to bring you some food and water. Here, we have a letter that he asked us to give you.
I see. So, you're friends of Tainari. I apologize for all the trouble I've caused you. I'm grateful that you came so quickly to save me. You even brought all this fruit.
Mhm. Ihr?
Well, actually, we didn't bring the fruit. It was already here when we arrived. We were kind of wondering about that, actually. When we found you here, there was all this fruit lying around and even some juice dripping from your lips. How did you end up like this anyway?
Mhm.
Oh, really? I seem to understand now. All the fruit was likely from my, neighbor. Must have come by and saw me like this.
Mhm.
Your neighbor? You mean there's someone else living nearby?
Was dieses seltsame Geschöpf, das wie ein Weißkohl aussah?
Oh? So you're able to see them too?
Ja. Du erzählst Paimon und Hypatia, was passiert ist, als du die Höhle betratst.
Wait, hold on a second, traveler. You say that before we arrived, you saw some mysterious creature and suddenly had a strange dream? Isn't that a little too crazy to believe?
Vielleicht?
No, I actually do believe what the traveler is saying. I myself had a similar experience once before and ended up scaring my timid little neighbor here.
Oh je.
You needn't worry. They mean you no harm. They only dragged you into the dream because they hoped to buy themselves a little time in order to scurry away.
So also.
So, Hypatia, just what kind of creature is your neighbor exactly?
Frage ich mich jetzt auch.
I'm not sure what it's called, to be honest. But I do know that they have some sort of deeper connection with the Dendro Archon. I know this because the first time I saw them was also the exact day my consciousness was able to form a connection with Irminsul.
Ah.
Even after I opened my eyes and stopped meditating, my heart was still pounding, and my mind was racing with all the knowledge that I had touched. And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed a small figure at the opening of the cave.
Ja, süß noch dazu.
In my curiosity, I began to walk over to the creature. They must have already been used to me living in the cave, because they didn't seem to mind me approaching them. They just kept doing whatever they were up to. It wasn't until I crouched down next to them that they suddenly realized that I could see them.
Ja, schon. Die sind echt knuffig.
Oh! And then?
And then I had a dream. By the time I came to, they were nowhere to be seen.
Also es ist so eine Angstreaktion von ihm, ne? Nee, einfach nur süß.
I was convinced they'd never show up again. But sure enough, I saw them nearby a few days later. And they weren't alone. I feel like they aren't as afraid of me as the first time I approached them. But I never would have expected them to save me.
Es ist wirklich ein guter Nachbar.
Yes, no doubt about that. By the way, Tighnari mentioned in his letter that you had questions for me regarding Irminsul.
Ja, definitiv. Und du hast wohl Hunger.
Sorry about that. Sounds like just drinking juice still isn't quite enough for my stomach.
Well, if somebody hadn't dropped the food earlier... Anyway, looks like we'll need to prepare something ourselves. Besides, Paimon's getting hungry too.
Paimon,
Let's eat first and talk about Irminsul later.
Paimon, du bist irgendwie immer hungrig.
Alright, we're out, traveler. Today's menu will feature sweet madame and a radish veggie soup. You'll love them, Hypatia. They're our specialties after all.
Okay.
Sounds good. I've never tried any dishes from other nations before. I certainly look forward to it. It's been so long since I've had a decent meal, too. To be honest, the last time had to be when Tighnari came to visit.
Es ist aber auch nicht gerade gut, so wenig zu essen. Kochen, kochen, kochen. Ist hier eine Kochstelle? Ja, das ist eine Kochstelle.
Don't get too close.
Gut. Ich bereite das Essen über dem Lagerfeuer zu. Ist doch verhungert.
Done. Let's use the empty box that Tighnari gave us since we already washed it.
Wahrscheinlich. Jetzt legen wir das Essen in die Büchse, die Tighnari uns mitgegeben hat, weil man hat sie gerade schon gründlich gewaschen.
Oh, it smells amazing. And the box is a nice touch too. Let's go serve this up and start eating with Hypatia.
Das machen wir. Ui, ich werde müde. Nee, eigentlich bin ich schon voll lang müde. Es tut mir leid. Wie gesagt, die letzte Nacht war ich irgendwie nicht, ich habe nicht gut geschlafen.
Are you already finished cooking? Smells delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like this. Cooking really isn't my forte.
Echt geil. Sweet Madame braucht schon lang. Das glaube ich. So. Bitteschön. Lass es dir schmecken. Ihr genießt die Mahlzeiten mit Hypatia. Nach dem Essen erzählst du ihr von deinem
Even
Erlebnis.
though everything you mentioned was in Tighnari's letter, it's still hard to believe you were able to connect with Irminsul immediately after smelling Spiritborn eel for the first time.
Ist so ungewöhnlich?
It took me nearly 3 years before I could do so. And everyone at the academia even lauded me as a genius.
Oh.
You should know that some researchers spend their entire lives without ever successfully connecting with Irminsul as you have.
Oh.
So why does this incense allow people to connect to Irminsul?
The ingredients used to make spirit-born ale primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. These special ingredients are conducive to heightening our senses to the Dendro Archon's power. Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can occasionally tap into her powers to peer into the depths of the earth.
Ich glaube, ich verstehe. Cool. Lass mal gucken.
Naturally, anyone who can establish a connection with Irminsul in their first ever attempt must be a person of great understanding.
Meistens.
Makes sense. But Paimon's got a question. Why was she sensitive to the smell of those plants for such a long time?
That was primarily due to her body's unique constitution. Stimulated by the incense, she could perceive the Dendro Archon's power and experience the sensory overload, hence the adverse reactions.
Das denke ich mir, dass die sehr scharf sind, das glaube ich.
Taking in any scent similar to the ingredients of Spirit-born ale would cause adverse effects.
Ah,
Not to worry, though. It appears you've already fully recovered.
das stimmt.
Technically, your body should still be sensitive to the powers of the Dendro Archon. But unless you're using intentional meditation techniques, the scent of Spirit-born ale should no longer trigger such reactions.
Well, that's a relief.
I must admit, I am quite envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering from pounding headaches for the rest of my life, I'd consider it worthwhile so long as I could connect with Irminsul at will.
Whoa, you're really serious about this whole thing, aren't you?
Du bist wirklich besessen von dieser Sache. Ja, Paimon. Dann ist automatisch besessen.
I am a researcher after all.
Ich frage mich im Moment, die sind Gelehrte, Menschen, die unglaublich viel wissen, die studieren, sich weiterbilden und. Ich würde irgendwo gerne wissen, was das für eine Bedeutung für die ist, sich mit Irminsul zu verbinden. Erhalten die dadurch mehr Wissen? Oder wie ist das genau für die? Das frage ich mich jetzt gerade.
As a member of the Ritaoist Darshan at the Academia, my main area of research is the stars and their connection to the fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie in the starry skies. Which is why I must turn to the all-knowing Irminsul for answers.
Okay.
If only my perception wasn't so limited. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact.
Ich frage mich, ob in dem Spirit Hornell auch der Nektar von einer gewissen Lotusblüte drin ist, da es in Indien eine mit Halluzinogen ist und der Einsatz nur für die Religion erlaubt ist. Maybe? Vielleicht? Wer weiß? Könnte ja sein.
I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Irminsul during this stage. Sages have said that Irminsul contains divine knowledge, and touching such knowledge without the proper preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on itself.
Okay, das verstehe ich irgendwo.
That's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Okay, Draghi. Ich wünsche dir eine gute Nacht, schlaf gut und ruh dich super gut aus, gell? Wir lesen uns garantiert wieder. Okay. Niemanden anderen hineinzuziehen und sich selbst, den eigenen Verstand zu stabilisieren.
Whoa, so knowledge from Irminsul can be super dangerous. Aren't you afraid of the risks, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of insects. However, I've been feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor living nearby.
Es ist so süß, wenn er plötzlich verschwindet, wo sie in seine Richtung schaut.
I believe that being able to see them is a sort of blessing from the Dendro Archon. But what's strangest of all is that they're clearly an envoy of the god of wisdom herself. And they have the curious power to make people dream.
Aber vielleicht steckt ja ein Sinn hinter diesen Träumen.
What's so strange about that? It doesn't sound so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's strange because nearly nobody in Sumeru can ever dream.
Wie, die träumen nicht.
Oh, is that true?
Yes, well, to an extent. Only children can dream in Sumeru. Adults, however, never do. The sages say that wisdom implies rationality, but that which occurs in dreams is often neither rational nor logical.
Dieser Traum war wirklich völlig durcheinander.
Yes, if one struggles with anxieties, those emotions could influence their dreams.
Aber wenn es nicht... Ich meine, für uns ist es ja, indem wir träumen, verarbeiten wir ja sämtliche Geschehnisse. Geschehnisse, die an ein und demselben Tag passiert sind und Geschehnisse, die vor vielen Jahren passiert sind. Verarbeiten wir ja alles in einem und demselben Moment. Wie die Zeit, in der wir schlafen. Das heißt aber, wenn die nicht träumen, haben sie doch wahrscheinlich eher Schwierigkeiten, Dinge zu verarbeiten. Das glaube ich. Und ich möchte es erfahren. Ich möchte es echt erfahren.
The fact that the people of Sumeru do not have dreams is seen as a blessing by the sages. They believe that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, the god of wisdom, is keeping us away from the foolish delusions you encounter in your sleep. I was born into a family of scholars in Sumeru City. Ever since I was a child, my parents would always tell me that I'll know I've grown up once I stop dreaming. I studied hard, enrolled as a student in the academia, and went on to become a researcher. Sure enough, I never dreamed again. But then, on the day I scared the little Aranara, I suddenly saw a dream again. It was incredible. Though I don't exactly remember what I saw, I clearly recall the feeling. I suddenly felt like I was a child again. Back then, I was foolish and ignorant as any youth would be, but I was free of fear. Maybe dreaming isn't as bad as we've made it out to be. Just be sure not to speak of this if you travel to Sumeru City. They'll look at you as if you've lost your mind.
Ja, wahrscheinlich.
So, do you have any thoughts about the things she saw when she connected with Irminsul?
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't have any answers as of now. All I can say is that what you saw is a memory contained within Irminsul itself. World forget me. What could that possibly mean? If only I could ascend past Satyavada life and begin Paripurna life. I might have some more answers for you. If you two are ever in the area again, please be sure to come and see me.
Ich wünsche dir auf deinem Weg zu dir selbst viel Erfolg.
There's no need to be thanking me. You two are my saviors. Besides, I'm already looking forward to tasting some more of your cooking.
Gut. Nach einer langen Unterhaltung mit Hypatia bringt ihr die Nacht in der
Now that we know
Höhle.
Hypatia is alright and had the chance to ask her some questions, Paimon thinks it's about time to head back to Gandharvaville.
Das machen wir. Aber meine Lieben, machen wir ein andermal.